Hi scholars, so today we're completing Module 1, Lesson 18. So let's go ahead and start with our learning intention. Thoughtful mathematicians apply the distributive property to decompose factors. And so we'll complete the problem set after this lesson and then move on to steps 3 and 4 on Schoology, which are Zern and Reflex. So go ahead and pause the video to refresh your memory of these vocab words that we've been seeing for a while now. And then you can press play once you've read them to yourself. Again, read these to yourself and then press play when you're ready. I just want to refresh your memory of what the distributive property is. So to summarize what you're seeing here, basically it's breaking apart or decomposing one of the factors to then multiply those two numbers by the other factor. So for example, they've broken apart 7 to be 5 and 2 because they add up to 7. And then they multiply each of them by 4 because that is the other factor. Once they do multiply, so I have 4 times 5 and 4 times 2, the two numbers that I made, I add the two products. So 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 2 is 8, and I get 28. And we'll do this together in today's lesson. But I just want to refresh your memory since this is not the first time that we're seeing this. So one way to represent the distributive property is to use a number bond as you see here. So I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm trying to solve 8 times 6. I see here in the top, my whole is 8 sixes. They've decomposed 8 sixes to be 3 sixes. And I know that 3 plus 5 will give me 8. So I'm going to write 5 sixes here. So I'm going to use this number bond to help me fill in the blanks. So I see 3 sixes is here. So the other part must be the 5 sixes that I wrote. So 3 sixes plus 5 sixes equals 8 sixes. That makes sense because 3 plus 5 is 8. So now they've rewritten 3 sixes as an expression. 3 sixes is the same as 3 times 6. So that means that 5 sixes must be the same as 5 times 6. And if I add them together, I should get the product for 8 times 6. So let's go ahead and solve. They've already solved 3 times 6 is 18. So now I want to solve 5 times 6. So I'm going to skip count by 5s because that's just easier for me. And I'm going to skip count by 5s 6 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 5 times 6 is 30. So now I see I have to add these two products to get my final product or the whole. So 18 plus 30. 8 plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I get 48. That means that 8 times 6 is 48. So let me rewrite my whole or my product up here. And a new term that we haven't used that I want to introduce you to is called partial product. So when we're using distributive property, we're actually looking for the partial product because they're parts of the entire product. These two are our partial products. So 18 and 30 would also be our partial products. And when we add them, we get our whole or the entire product. So let's try one together. If you don't have your materials ready to solve with me, please pause now and go get your pencil and paper or whatever writing utensils you're going to use. So again, pause now if you're not ready and then press play once you're ready to work with me. All right, so we're solving 9 times 5. So I see the whole is 9 fives, and we get to decide what we want to break apart the 9 into. I always like 5 because 5 is a very friendly number for me, so I'm going to do 5 fives. So go ahead and write this with me. You can copy down this number bond. And 4 fives because 4 plus 5 equals 9. So again, copy this number bond here as you see. And you don't have to copy all this, you can copy as I go along. So for our first equation, we need to fill in the parts of our number bond. We already have the whole, 9 fives. So we want to fill in the parts that we created here. So let's go ahead and write 5 fives plus 4 fives. And then we want to solve or convert 5 fives into an expression. Well, that would be 5 times 5 So if 5 fives equals 5 times 5, what would 4 fives be? It would be 4 times 5. So go ahead and copy this now. You should have 5 fives plus 4 fives equals 9 fives. And under that, you should have 5 times 5 with parentheses around it, plus 4 times 5 with parentheses around it, equals 9 times 5. All right, if you still need more time, just pause the video and then press play once you're done copying. So now we want to solve these expressions. Well, 5 times 5 is 25, because that's a fact I've learned on reflex. Now 4 times 5, I just take away one group of 5. 25 minus 5 would be 20. And what would that add up to? 25 plus 20. I would get 45, because 5 plus 0 is 5, and 2 plus 2 is 4, 45. Well, this is a typo, sorry guys, so this should be 9 times 5 equals. So what does 9 times 5 equal? 45, because that's what we got for our partial products. So let's rewrite our final answer. So our full equation should be 9 times 5 equals 45. So you're going to try this last one. And how you decide to break up the 7/8 is really up to you. So you can do, for example, 3/8 and 4/8. You can do 1/8 and 6/8. It's really what works best for you. What would make it easier for you to solve 7 times 8. So as long as these two parts add up to 7/8, you're fine. So go ahead and press pause, solve this on your own, then press play when you're ready to check your work. Again, pause now, and then press play when you're ready. So I'm going to do 2/8 and 5/8, because, like I said, I really like skip counting by fives. I find it very easy. So what you should have written here is whatever parts you had. So remember, your parts are correct as long as they add up to 7/8. So possible options are 1/8 and 6/8. So I'm just going to write out the list in case you don't have the one that I did. Like I have 2 and 5. That's another option. 2 and 5/8. You could do 3 and 4. You can do 4 and 3. You can do 5 and 2, or you can do 6 and 1. So 3/8, 4/8, 4/8, 3/8. Then we just have 8s for each one. So I specifically did 2/8 and 5/8. But again, it doesn't matter as long as they all add up to 7/8. That was our whole. So I'm going to fill in, this would be 2 times 8 and 5 times 8 equals 7 times 8, because 2 plus 5 equals 7. I'm keeping the 8. The 8 is the one that's not changing. So 2 times 8 is 16, because I know my doubles facts. And then 5 times 8, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Counted by 5 8 times, and I got 40. And then 40 plus 16 would be 56, because 40, and if I count 16 more, it would give me 56. So that means that 7 times 8 is 56. So regardless of the part you chose, you should have found 56 to be your product. As always, let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching, guys.